Hello, I am your proud superintendent, Dr. Leslie Torres Rodriguez. I am leading the crucial process of reimagining and restructuring our school district. I need you, all of you, to be significant partners in our process. We are doing this imperative work to deliver on our commitment to ensure improved student outcomes and equitable access to resources for each and every one of our beautiful and capable students. When we have completed this process together, we will hold in our hands a stronger, more equitable school district designed to serve all students well, a plan built by the entire community that will benefit the entire community. We at Hartford Public Schools are coordinating the process, but you, the community, families, students, teachers, and all of our stakeholders are the voices and the minds that must inform this work. By sharing your thoughts, you will help to co-create our district model. Our work together, which takes place over the coming months in community meetings with families, partners, and schools, will culminate in the presentation of recommendations for district models for excellence, different ways in which the district can be reimagined while ensuring the health and viability of our neighborhoods, and continuing to provide access to opportunities and services for our families and students. For news about meetings and ongoing updates on our process, please visit our district website at www.hartfordschools.org.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to read a statement before we begin. The purpose of this public hearing is the proposed closure of Capital Community College Magnet Academy. And I just want to say good evening and welcome everybody. Before we get started, I just want to go with some ground rules. Some of you were with us last night, so you know, and others if you don't. This is a public hearing, and every topic that you want to come speak to should be related to the topic of the potential closure of Capital Community College Magnet. All comments should be related to this topic. Any other public comments should be kept until the next regular meeting. Each member of the public wishing to speak may address the board for a total of 3 minutes. At the 2-minute mark, Ms. Santiago will ring a bell, letting you know that you have 1 minute to wrap it up. At the sound of that bell, your 3 minutes are up. We have, well, normally we have a lot of speakers. Today, we have a reasonable amount of speakers. So if you could please just observe our ground rules. No boisterous conduct shall be permitted. Timelines will strictly be enforced. No personal attacks on individuals. No vulgar language or indecent language. No signs allowed inside board meeting rooms. Speakers may not yield their time to other speakers. Speakers must refrain from naming employees. A person may address the board no more than twice during a single meeting. This is difficult times. We're aware of that. We understand there's a lot of emotions. And we encourage you all to be respectful to one another. And since Mr. Flores is not here, Mr. Hernandez will read this in Spanish.
Buenas noches y bienvenidos. Antes de comenzar queremos establecer las reglas para esta reunión. Esta es una audiencia pública de la propuesta para cerrar la escuela Capital Community College Magnet Academy. Todos los comentarios de hoy deben estar relacionados a esta propuesta. Cualquier otro comentario debe esperar hasta la próxima reunión regular de la Junta. Cada miembro del público que quiera hablar puede dirigirse a la Junta por un total de 3 minutos. Al final de 2 minutos, la señorita Santiago sonará el timbre para dejarle saber que le queda 1 minuto para concluir. Cuando suene el timbre por segunda ocasión, significa que se acabaron sus 3 minutos. Tenemos muchas personas que quieren hablar esta noche, así que por favor seamos respetuosos del tiempo de los demás. Si no le da el tiempo, puede entregar su comentario por escrito. No se permite conducta ruidosa. El tiempo límite será aplicado estrictamente. No se permiten ataques personales contra individuos. No se permite lenguaje vulgar o soez. No se permiten letreros dentro del salón de la reunión de la Junta. Una persona no puede cederle su tiempo disponible a otra persona. No se deben mencionar empleados por nombre. Una persona no puede dirigirse a la Junta en más de 2 ocasiones durante una misma reunión. Este es un periodo difícil y queremos escuchar sus observaciones, pero por favor manténganos el respeto. Gracias.
Thank you. Ms. Taylor?
I'm going to call the names for folks who'd like to speak this evening for the public hearing, but I just also wanted to highlight that the meeting that we had yesterday was more of like a general public hearing for folks to be able to voice their concerns about the recommended model for excellence. This evening, we're going to be speaking specifically to Capital Community College Magnet Academy, Per policy, we're going to be going to each of the schools that are going to be impacted by the proposed plan. So this is really one of the safeguards that we wanted to put in place for community members to make sure that every school community that's going to be specifically impacted had an opportunity to voice their concerns and speak to criteria that we should be considering prior to our vote. Okay? So I'm going to call up our first speaker, Selecia Livingston. Yes, please.
Good evening. First of all, I wasn't prepared to sit in this format because I didn't fully understand what it was that was going to take place tonight. So I just made some quick jottings, and I'll try as much as possible to stay within the 3 minutes. First of all, thank you for the opportunity. I would want to point out that last year when we were told that CCCMA was going to be closed, it was told to us as a done deal, not open up for any negotiations, not opened up for us to voice our opinions regarding it. And so I took it as that, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to say something at this time. I do have 3 students that have attended and are currently attending CCCMA. My daughter graduated last year and is now attending UConn. And then I have a junior and a senior who is attending CCCMA. I'm totally disappointed that the school was selected to be closed. First of all, I was disappointed that it was selected to be moved out of CCC and brought into Capital Prep. But all the changes that took place, I was totally disappointed at that because CCCMA provided for my daughters, for once, a challenging education. My daughters were first of all in Capital Prep, and a lot of the curriculum that was there, I found it was totally dumbed down, and I'm talking point blank. There were classes that I know that the curriculum, which it should have been, where it is coming from, and they were not taught the full curriculum until when they moved to CCCMA. That's my first daughter. And when she got there, she was just totally blown away. The classes that she had, the civics class and the literature class, she was just like, Mommy, for the first time, I'm being challenged. She was taught to research, she had to go in, she had to do papers because it was done at a college level for a high school class. And that was encouraging to me as a parent. To find out that the school is closing, my other 2 daughters are here, and I'm expecting the same level, but I realize the teachers have challenges now being part of Capital Prep. Overall, my encouragement to the board in going forward is if CCCMA is going to be closed, are you going to provide something comparable to that to the students of Hartford and with the challenging curriculum? The fact of it is, although the classes are called the same, they're not challenging. Somehow the curriculum is being adjusted and it's being dumbed down. I don't know why. But I saw what civics meant at CCCMA, and I saw what civics was at Capital Prep, and they're two different things, and I don't understand why that. So that's my encouragement. I know there are challenges, and I know we can put money towards things, but without discipline and structure and a good curriculum, the money makes no difference. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Tasha Rose. It's a short list.
Okay. Okay. I'm Tasha Rose. I spoke with you all yesterday. But my daughter is a senior at Capital Community College Magnet Academy, and I feel like she has had a good education last year and a half that she's been there. Prior to that, she was a student at J Bay. However, she thought that she would want to go into a place that was going to help her with college credits, and CCCMA was one of those schools. I did have the experience of Capital Prep upper school for my child, but I did have the lower school for my other daughter. And so I would have liked for Tiaja to have gone here for high school, but that wasn't an option for her. So CCCMA was that great option that we were waiting for such a long time. So now, even though she's going to be graduating, I feel that the way that all this restructuring is going, there is no quality education in the Hartford school system for children 3 to 18 when it comes to community schooling. Every school has to have a magnet or some type of extra word in order to be a good school for our children. And CCCMA was one of those schools that I said, okay, you know, it's a good school, but what happens to our children now that it's being closed? There's no Weaver, there's no Buckley, there's no Hartford High that's going to provide that type of education that CCCMA has provided for my child over the last year and a half. And when we continue to restructure these schools, we need to put back into our community what we're losing when we shut down these magnet schools instead of adding new magnet schools and Montessori schools. I'm not seeing that. I'm a product of Hartford. I received my associates, my bachelor's, my master's, and my second bachelor's through the education that I received by being a Hartford student. The education that you guys are providing in our community schools, it's just ridiculous, I'll be honest. So every time I hear about another magnet school being closed, it's like, okay, you're closing it, but what about our community schools? What are we doing? CCCMA, yeah, it's closing, it was a great avenue, but what about those kids that are gonna have to go to school next year and they're like, okay, well, what school do I have to go to? They can't go to their community school because there's really no community school. So I guess my frustration is just, if we're gonna continue to shut down these magnet schools, can we please reconstruct our community schools so that we can have that type of education that we received at magnet schools? And yes, the money is tight, but if the money was tight when I went to school, then I know it can still be done. Just because, you know, it's a different time, we can still educate our children. And so with CCCMA closing, it's a big negative consequence to our children because they're constantly saying they don't know what's going to happen next year. Every time they go into school, they're like, I don't know where I'm going to go next year because every day I go to school, something else is getting cut. So I'm not going to go into a tizzy, but it's very frustrating because every day I'm hearing about another school getting closed, but I'm also hearing about other prep schools and magnet schools and Montessori schools popping up. We need to fix our community schools and educate our children in our community schools. And yes, it's sad that these magnet schools are closing, but we need to educate our children in our community. That's it.
Thank you. Felicia Brown.
Felicia Brown. I'm a Hartford resident, and I wasn't going to speak. I honestly wasn't, but I had to because my student is in this school. So I just want to say that I was totally hurt to have my child come from one school to this school, because you said you can't mention names. I took my child out of one school, brought them to this school, thinking that they were going to get a decent education. Then, during orientation, I asked, since this school is moving to Capital Prep, are there going to be any changes? What's really going on? Like, tell me what's going on. You know, like, will they be doing, how are they going to catch up to Capital Prep when Capital Prep already started? That was one of my questions. And I asked also, how are the teachers going to teach these students when they already started teaching kids a couple of weeks in advance to catch the other students up? Was assured everything was going to be great, it's going to be proper. Then, a couple of months in, my daughter come home, we're now following Capital Prep and we have to do this and we have to do that. And I'm like, what? How are you supposed to catch up to those students that's doing this and now you're on their itinerary when you're a whole nother school? I'm looking at your face, you look shocked. I was shocked also. As adults, it's hard to do change. And you're asking these 16 and 17 and 18-year-olds to do stuff that's hard for adults to do. You want them to change to a whole nother school that is change from what they are. They don't even have, even we're here right now, I don't see anything with their name written on it. But this is their school that they attend. They have nothing. All they have is letters to say or t-shirts that we buy from a school store. And as a parent of my child, I am hurt that she has to feel this way. There is no reason why you come to a school, you leave your school and you say, you know what, Mom, I wasn't learning nothing in this school, I don't want to go there, so I'm fighting for my kid, doing the lottery, getting knocked down, still fighting for my kid. Get my child into a school and then she come back and she's knocked back down. As a parent, it hurts. As a child, it hurts. And I'm just sorry to see what is going on here in Hartford where I grew up my whole entire life. I went to Weaver. Would I go to Weaver now? No. I tried to give my kid a better education so that when she go to college, she won't be stuck in those intermediate classes. I want my child to be able to go to college and to keep up with kids from Avon, from even West Hartford, keep up from places like right here in our surrounding greater Hartford area. And it's a horrible, horrible feeling each and every day you have to ask your child, how was school today? Because in the back of your mind, you're nervous she's going to come and tell you something else. Then you leave vacation, and now you're supposed to come back on the 2nd when the school is closed. They tell my child, come back on the 2nd, but Capital Prep comes back on the 4th. What? It's just a horrible situation, and honestly, I just wish Hartford would do better. I'm sick and tired of Hartford. I'm sorry, I know I'm probably past my time, but I'm tired of Hartford bringing people from the suburbs into Hartford, giving them stipends, but yet you have your own people right here that lives in the city of Hartford that can't get anything from you all. Come on, let's be realistic. Let's just be realistic. And I wasn't going to talk because sitting at this forum, to me, it makes me feel like nothing is being done. What am I going to say anything for? Because every single day, nothing is being done. You have shepherds of houses that's not speaking up for their kids. Nothing's being done. Me as a parent, I can't speak for every child, but nothing is being done. What is the purpose of this forum that should have been done a year ago? Why were you accepting kids into this school when no one should have been accepted from a year ago? You knew the school was closing. It wasn't a secret. And then to get slapped in the face and say, oh, on the 19th, I'm going to give my recommendation. Recommend what? We were already closed. What are you recommending for us? We were already closed. Put my child in another school? How? You have to wait for a lottery. What are we supposed to do? Even regular schools got a lottery. Really? You're not even teaching a good education to the kids and you got a lottery. You change one school and put museum on the end and you're a magnet school. What? Help me, because I'm just as confused as I want to be. And nothing I'm saying is false. Everything I'm saying is fact. But help me. Because help me help my child. Because I don't want my child going to a college and can't keep up. And just being pushed along saying, oh, you need to go tutor, go to the tutor, go to the tutor. Why my child got to go to the tutor? She should have learned in school in Hartford, Connecticut, where she was born and raised, everything that she needs to know. I'm just going to leave it there.
Thank you. Deborah Lean.
Hi, I wasn't prepared to speak tonight either, so I took down some notes also. I don't live in Hartford, I work in Hartford, so I see a lot of what goes on in the community. My niece goes to CCCMA, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak tonight. I was under the impression, as the other mother was, that this was a done deal, that the school is closing. I wish we had had a chance to speak a year ago, and if not, I hope it can be changed. I really feel it's a shame to close this school. This school gives students a chance at something that they may never have otherwise, and their parents may never have had a chance at, which is to go to college. It's an opportunity for a college education. I think, I did a little bit of research prior. In 2016, all of the students that graduated from CCCMA went to college. I don't know if you all knew that. Every single student that graduated went to college. I would guarantee there's no other school in Hartford, or probably any other of the surrounding towns, Avon, West Hartford, anywhere, where every student went to college. My niece has excelled in her first semester here, and I'm sure most, if not all of her co-students and the former graduating class have. Your plan that is put forward for organizational excellence calls for a redesign to support student learning. I don't think there's a need for a redesign. I think that already exists here. The plan lists programmatic non-negotiables as college prep and career development. That already exists here. The plan lists practice non-negotiables as an adult learning culture. That already exists here. I know my niece has learned more, is more adult ready than my 21-year-old son. So one of the investments listed in the plan is for increased resources to earn college credits and participate in career development. That's already here. I don't know why we have to recreate the wheel as part of this plan when you already have a very successful program. You should be building on the program that exists here and the success that the students have had here, instead of recreating something and starting anew. So, thank you for the time.
Thank you. Cheryl DeSharoon.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity for allowing us to speak. I have not gone to any previous meetings, so I was unaware of the format. I was actually hoping to hear from the board prior to public comment, so I can only go with the independent research that I've also done. My daughter she was speaking of her niece. That's actually my daughter, Karis, who's an 11th grader at CCCMA. My initial research from what was released last month still has CCCMA as closing in June of 19. So I'm going on the expectation that that has not changed, that the current 11th grade class will be continuing and completing their education at CCCMA. And that might lead some other people to think, well, why are people talking? First of all, maybe that's not completely done, and I want to ensure that all junior students, and I believe there's around 18 right now, all junior students are going to be afforded what they were, for lack of a better word, promised when they entered this lottery. And that's that you will be going to CCCMA, an 11th and 12th grade magnet school, through your graduation completion, and then the school will be closing, which was already disappointing to us because I think it is a shining star in the Hartford education system to have CCCMA open. Not only did you hear about the 100% graduation college enrollment information for 2016, I'm not sure if you're aware of the class of 2016 who took college classes. The overall GPA of completion of those college classes at Capital was 3.6. So the students that were coming out of CCCMA were excelling in their college classes. And I don't have any SAT or testing data, but I'm sure it was an overall help to the Hartford Public Schools, the students that tested from CCCMA. And just their graduation rate, 100% graduation rate, has to be above other high schools in the district, I'm sure. So, though I expect my daughter to fully graduate from CCCMA, I don't expect to hear in the final decision that this school is closing at the end of this year, because that's what was not the agreed upon rate when all of us took our children out of the schools and enrolled them here. That being said, I know one of the ground rules was you can't mention teachers or anything by name. I certainly don't want to do that, but I do want to give a nod and a heartfelt appreciation to Dean Epps, who took the helm of a school that was already being told to be closed, already had transitioned from our location in a college environment and put within, as this other parent said, dropped within another high school. And you have children who want to have pride over their school, and I'm sure they do, but they have no characteristics in this school that makes this school their own. And I think through all of that and in the upheaval, Dean Epps is doing an outstanding job to keep CCCMA afloat. With that said, I hope that when the final result comes out, I appreciate having the opportunity to talk. I certainly hope that this school will remain open through the graduation of June 19th, so those 18 students will help Hartford Public Schools by all graduating well, all going on to college, all doing outstanding at their classes at Capital Community College. But I do want to voice that it is a shame that we're a small school, but a small school doesn't mean that you should be pushed off to the side, because this school and this framework of how this school is administered is a benefit to the town of Hartford. And when it was created on the concept that it would expand. It would start with 30 students, it would go up to 60 students. I don't know if that's purely by budgetary. It's a shame, and it's a detriment to the entire community that this particular school, CCCMA, a lot of C's, is going away. But I do want to thank you for the opportunity for speaking this evening.
Well, thank you for that, and thank everyone for speaking. We appreciate it. Did not go, you did not speak in vain. I do want to acknowledge Principal Dean Epps also. And thank you for taking on a challenging assignment with class and dignity. I appreciate that. And at this time, if there's no more speakers, we're going to conclude the public hearing. And you are more than welcome to send your letters to the district if you need to. We will have more public hearings, but you are more than welcome to contact the board directly via Ms. Santiago over there. So just want to say thank you. Have a safe night and good night.
Saludos, estoy orgullosa de ser su superintendente, la doctora Leslie Torres Rodríguez. Estoy dirigiendo el proceso crucial de reimaginar y reestructurar nuestro distrito escolar. Necesito que ustedes, todos ustedes, tengan una participación significativa en nuestro proceso. Estamos haciendo esta labor crucial para cumplir nuestro compromiso, garantizar mejores resultados para los estudiantes y un acceso equitativo a los recursos para todos y cada uno de nuestros estudiantes hermosos y competentes. Cuando hayamos completado este proceso juntos, tendremos en nuestras manos un distrito escolar más fuerte y más equitativo, diseñado para servir bien a todos los estudiantes, y un plan construido por toda la comunidad para el beneficio de toda la comunidad. Nosotros en las escuelas públicas de Hartford estamos coordinando este proceso, pero ustedes, la comunidad, las familias, los estudiantes, los maestros y todos nuestros socios son las voces y las mentes que orientan este trabajo. Al compartir sus opiniones, ustedes ayudarán a crear nuestro modelo del distrito. Nuestro trabajo en conjunto, que se llevará a cabo durante los próximos meses en reuniones comunitarias con familias, socios y escuelas, culminará con la presentación de recomendaciones para modelos de excelencia del distrito. Estos modelos demostrarán diferentes maneras en que el distrito puede ser reimaginado, tomando en consideración la condición y viabilidad de nuestros vecindarios y garantizando el acceso continuo de oportunidades y servicios a nuestras familias y estudiantes. Para obtener más noticias sobre este proceso, visite nuestra página del web del distrito en el www.hartfordschools.org.